Hello, my name is Dr. George Mochocki. If you're viewing this video, you're either viewing this YouTube because I send you a direct link to your email, or you're on Blackboard and this is your first orientation. Either one is the same video. So you're taking me for an online class for Business 121 Introduction to Business, or you're taking me to a hybrid or an online class for Business 223, which is Principles of Management. The 600 series is a hybrid. So we'll be utilizing the Business 121 course shell because this one is closed and I've been working on it, so it'll be a good one to show you. All my online classes are all set up the same way. You'll be doing what do you call it, online and hybrid classes. You'll be doing a lot of forums. Graded forums are required in my online classes. You will be doing assessments. You will have a variety of different things in short clips in my online classes. You have my mind maps, and you'll be using McGraw-Hill's Connect or Learn Smart, which is an integrated software program to help you learn and retain information. Okay, so how do you get into it? If you're looking this for the first time through the email and the YouTube, you go into your Blackboard and you sign into your Blackboard. Just, when you sign up, I know for some this is your first time at the College of Lake County. So when you sign up, you received a CLC email account, CLC email address, and you also received the Blackboard. So when you go into your student portal with your CLC email account, your Blackboard account is the same thing, only you drop the mail at student CLC illinois.edu, and it's just your first initial. Mine would be G Mochocki, and that would be my Blackboard. And the same login you have for your email is the same login for Blackboard. So this time now your Blackboard. So you're going to go on Blackboard. You've got several other classes you're taking at the college. Find the one you're doing. So I'm going to use 804, even though some of the materials are from 805 section is. I teach a variety at different times. So I'm teaching 800 series. So that's all the way from 800, 801. It just means it starts at different times. Some are 12 weeks, some are 16 weeks, some are 8 weeks, and some are 6 weeks. Okay, so we're going to do in the 804. You always can see my face in here. I don't have the graded banner, but it tells you got to log in 3 different times a day. Remember the forums. These are graded forums to replace the lectures within the classroom. So when I go and explain the forums, I'll show you what to do, but they're graded. That means you got to log in at Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or log in Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. You have any time during the week, morning, evening, afternoon. But your first post to my questions or reply that I ask in the forums will have to be done by Tuesday midnight. And then points are taken off. I got a rubrics, I got to hold things on a forum. But just understand these are graded forums. Just like the forums in this class replaces the lecture in a face-to-face class. You've read the material, you did the integrated software, you did some of the assessment. Now you go into forum and you learn how to communicate in a virtual platform. Similar to what a lot of companies, even if you're working in a face-to-face operation, you have 60 or 40% is going to be in a virtual email or Skype or YouTube or Facebook that your organization will require you to communicate with. So you might as well learn how to do this and learn at the college level here, and it helps you out. So you have that's your first post ends at Friday. Your last post ends at like Friday midnight. The forums are open to Saturday noon. After that, they're turned off. This way, someone posts is late and you want to hear a reply and give them some information. I'm looking for quality posts close to, every time you log in 3 different days to 3 different students talk. Not have to be all at the same time, but the same day. You're trying to get the integration, you talk back and forth. Okay, so what do you do? So you come in here, so you know the forums. The first thing you're going to find out, look at the, what do you call it, the announcements. Anytime I announce anything else, it's going to send you an email. It's going to come to your email, your College of Lake County email, and it'll tell you that something was announced in the Blackboard. I'll remind you about homework or other assignments that are done, or when the what do you call it, the weekly modules are open. So you got your home page. Look at my bio. It tells you a little bit about myself. Got a different tape of me. You know what I mean? It tells you everything about myself. I'm not going to go into it. It's kind of nice to know that my experience. I am a graduate from College of Lake County, so I worked all the way through, and I got my doctoral degrees, and I'm back here teaching at College of Lake County. Okay, orientation is graded forums. You're already looking at this, so you've got the links, the different links that you could watch. Feasibility. There's a paper due. Look at them, and as I usually do, I've got everything written in a written document, but I also got the little YouTubes. So kind of some individuals, at least I give you an overview, and then when you read the paper, it makes sense what I think is important. You got the PowerPoints, you got the McGraw-Hill connection. Remember, this course is required that you would, let's see, orientation. Uh, this course requires that you is tied in all my courses with McGraw-Hill Connect. Connect is a software offered by the publisher. When you buy the book here, bundled here at the College of Lake County, the Connect prices are included. That's why you get a good deal. Otherwise, if you buy the book someplace else or you rent the book and you want to buy the Connect, I think the Connect software is about like anywhere from $40 to $50, and it's required for the class. You can't pass the class without the Connect because we do a lot of interaction, a lot of assessments that you use through the Blackboard. You got to learn smart. So I really know that you know the material, and then you use that information, that verbiage into our forms. Okay, so. You need to connect, and I have. And once you get the book with the Connect, it has a Connect passcode. When you go in for your first Connect homework, when you click on it, it will basically open up and it'll ask you for the passcode. After that, it's all done through Blackboard. You go through Blackboard, the Connect assignments and the grades are all back in Blackboard. If you are using your smartphone or the tablets, iTablets outside, and not going through the Blackboard, but directly through McGraw-Hill Connect, the grades may not record automatically back into Blackboard because it's paired through Blackboard and McGraw-Hill Connect. So what I'll have to do is every now and then I'll resync it, and they'll take the grades. The grades are still in there in McGraw-Hill's platform, and I'll bring them back into our grade book. Just send me an email and remind me. You can always print out the copy of your grades in there, okay? So everything else starts. So you had the orientation, you went through that. You had the feasibility. It tells you, I got the YouTube, what's the paper required, all the handouts, some examples, so you kind of know what your overall project's going to be. And now what you're going to do with forms, everything you need to remember is you go through the weekly module. And through the weekly modules, the weeks are set up. This is the last week, week 2. And don't look at the dates right now. You know, I'll have the date for the class you're doing. If it's 16 weeks, I have 16 weeks. If it's an 8-week class, I'll have 8. You have 8 weeks on there. So it's basically the same setup. It's just that if you take an 8-week class, I take 16 weeks and condense it. So you're doing more work in an 8-week class, but you're doing the same amount of work as someone is taking in a 16-week class, only it has longer time in between the classes. You do less chapters. In a 16-week class that if you be taking basically 2 chapters a week, and an 8-week class, maybe 4 chapters, and it makes a difference if it's 10-week or 12-week. Okay, so you're going to come in here, so everything's going to start. So remember, once you come into the weekly modules, your modules, look at the syllabi. I got the syllabi. I got last week's syllabi. Let me just click on there. I got the syllabi. This is 103. Okay, we'll use this one. I've got the syllabi. It has everything that you need. It's printed out. Remember, it's a different one. It has my face on it. How you get a hold of me. This is my real email, but I've been here so long. This is what you could send it. Either one basically ties into the same one. Just didn't want to change all the linkages. Here's how you get a hold of me. Here's a textbook. Here's the Connect that comes up with the textbook. It comes up as a package. The thing is here, it's supposed to be the 10th edition, not the 9th edition. So make sure I have the correct one in there. All right, but make sure you're in there. It has with the class, it has everything else you're looking at here, and you go through here, and you're done, and it has the breakdown. This is the spring class. So it'll have the module. So it'll have what's required, which chapters we'll be reading, and then you're going to go back into Blackboard, into this weekly assignment, right? You're going to go back into here where it says Blackboard weekly module assignments, and all my online classes have the same ones, and you go to the week. After this week is done, when it goes from the beginning of the week and ends at Sunday midnight, when the week is done, the forums are done, that week is turned off. So if you have any kind of posts or anything in the forums, you could always get them back, but I would recommend cutting them and saving them in your documents as something that we're talking about a project or something about your feasibility paper, your term paper that's required. If you're doing a research paper, if you're taking me for principles of management, and you'll be doing a feasibility, you'll be coming up with a new idea, concept for a new business or a new product or a service. And you'll find that it's either feasibility research information, or you'll say research information, depending on the course. Remember, this is an overview, as you're not going to have an in-class orientation. This is your orientation, okay? So you can go with week 1. You always have an overview. It's going to tell you about what the week is, okay? You're going to have a quick YouTube, again, another YouTube just for me introducing the week's subject matter coming in there. And I'm doing something else. I'm doing where I will give a 20-minute talk about each, like if we're talking chapter 1 and chapter 2, I'll use the concept map. And you'll find these under mind maps here. You go into the concept maps, okay? So if I'm looking at the concept map, if I'm looking at week 1, and it basically will give you the first level. These are your vocabularies and everything else you should start using within your forums when you're talking within the class. So this is like an outline, a visual type of outline, what they call conceptual maps or mind map. Utilized a lot in business and or in marketing coming up. So it's another way of taking notes. So you could just add in all the information, and you'll have this for every chapter. And remember, you also have this with your PowerPoints that's supplied with the publisher. All right. So we're going to go back to where we're going to go back to. Everything is found in our weekly. You know, you can find it in the different areas, but everything is found in our weekly folder. Okay, so you've got that, you've got the overview of the week, tells you what I'm going to be doing with this week. It's going to say on this one here, you've got the chapters reading, you got the McGraw-Hill Connect, you got the quizzes. Sometimes you're going to have the quizzes or McGraw-Hill Connect. It depends. I'm going to combine them together. I mean, sometimes you have all Connect, it's worth 20 points per chapter, or sometimes you may have all just quizzes and no Connect, and other times you may have partial quizzes, partial Connect. I just want to do a variety, so it's just different ways that I know you learn. And Connect and Learn Smart are the integrated software. When I say quizzes, those are the basic exams provided by Blackboard. If you take other courses and they don't utilize McGraw-Hill, but utilize like Sensage, and they've got their own like software or integrated software program. All right. So we're okay on that. So I'm back into my weekly, you know, you can always come back in here. This is our week 1. So you have that, so you know what's going on for the week. And here's the form. Here's where you connect homework. You click in there, and it goes automatically to the link. Right now, I don't have anything in there. You see me? When you click on this, it will automatically, the first time you go in here, it's paired. It's going to ask you for your passcode. If you don't have the money for the first time, and I know sometimes the money's a little bit tight, so what you could basically do, you have like I think it's a 2-week, you could do a trial basis. So you could go instead of money, say I want to take this as a trial. So you could utilize the Connect until you come up with the $40, whatever it is, to get the Connect. You can buy it online with a MasterCard, a Visa, whatever they'll take, or even with a check, a debit card. Okay, so they'll take care of that. You need that to go through the Connect. This is part of all my online courses, even face-to-face class. This is how I know you learn, and the forums will be able to help you do most of the work. Okay, so we're going to go back out of here. So you did the Connect. Now you're going to go to the forums, right? Here's my concept map by chapter. You find them here. Sometimes I put them in here. Here's the PowerPoints, and also you'll find them in here if I don't put the link. I do it the first week. Afterwards, you're always going to find overview. You're going to hit a quick YouTube about what I expect out of the week from you, and then you're going to have 2 or 3 mini YouTubes, 15 to 20 minutes on the subject. So you'll open up the concept maps, you'll hear me talk about them, you can take your notes, you read the book, you do the Connect software, then you talk in the forums, and everything else will work out well. You understand what's going on, and you believe it or not, you'll learn more in this online class or this hybrid class you take with me than when you would in a face-to-face traditional class, because you have so much time you can go back and you're so interactive within the class, within this software. Okay, so then I go into forums. What do I do with forums? The first forums are pretty easy. If I look at the first forum, I'm going to say, here's the forum requirements. I got to click YouTube. They'll talk about the forum requirements, and it just tells you what I'm expecting. No problem, okay? And it's kind of current because I just did that in March. Now the next thing is the forums. You're going to click on the forum. You're going to click in here. You're going to introduce yourself. The forums are set up. You remember, you log in 3 times on 3 different days, and each day you log in, you respond to 3 different individuals. With your first post has to be by Tuesday midnight. I want you to start communicating back and forth. You make friends in the forum. It's kind of like a virtual office. You have to talk to the customer, and you come back. Always use the individual's first name. Always show respect in the forum. Remember, any kind of disrespect, I'll turn off the forum and I'll kick you out of the forum for a week, so you lose a 20 or 25 points. The forums are basically almost like 30% of your total grade. If you're not attending the forums, you're just doing the other stuff. When it comes to midterm and they ask me, Dr. George, is so-and-so in your class. I says the student's never been in the forums, he or she is officially never in my class, just like you never show up to face-to-face class, and I've got other activities in Blackboard in my hybrid class. Forums are required. It improves on your communication skills, it improves on your written skills, it improves how you talk to other individuals. Remember, always first name, try to use concepts out of there, no one-liners. I'm looking for a couple words in the syllabi. I got a whole section on what I expect from a forum. Now, the other thing when I'm looking at the forums are basically 1 or 2 paragraphs. Sometimes I may ask you to do 3 or 4 different assessments. You do not have to post all the results and all the comments in one form. You do one form, you post another form. You have the flexibility of putting the assessment 1 or something else you want to ask in the subject area, so other individuals within the forum that say, hey, this is a question I can answer. Hey, this is something I want to know. They could correspond with you, just like you would at work. I, a lot of times, will start the forums. If the forums start flattening out, I would try to stimulate the forums in here to get your point. If you don't do the points, and I'll go in later on when I have in the forums, right? Okay, so you come in here, you look at the forums, so you click on this, and it's going to tell you to go in the forums. What's going to happen? These are all the forums that are already in here. Other people that made posts, because this was a class that ended. What you will basically do, you'll come in here and you're going to create a new thread. If at the beginning to the first one you have nothing in here, when you create a new thread, you're going to create a new thread, and you're going to come in here and you're going to say, welcome, hi, I'm George, hi, I'm George, love sports, okay, or something. Remember, I just want to get used to the subject matter. And then write something in here about yourself. At least a sentence. I'm from Chicago. I did this. I like this. I'm married. I'm divorced. I'm single. I just graduated. Whatever, just to get the conversation. Don't, try not to be anything too sad. Because in business, I'm trying to get to make that connection, but not to make the person depressed where he or she doesn't buy from me. Remember, this is a business class. This is a personal class. This is a class at a college level. So you want to be professional. Always use the person's first name. Not, hey, yo, hey, how you doing, Jack? Try not to use too many of the smiley cons and all that, because in business we may not know what the smiley cons. Some people go LOW. Is it lots of love or lots of luck? What's the, what I mean? You don't know, so you're better off. You're in a professional business, and this is a business class, okay? And then you submit, and then you go. And then you already got another post. See, I love sports, and this is your thing, and then somebody could reply. So if I go to somebody else, if I go back to this person, and I see them, I say, hey, I read the post, I love sports, and I wrote something out, and I want to reply. I go in here someplace else, here's a reply. I don't know if I can reply to myself, but you'll be able to reply, and you'll be all set, okay? So those are the forums, so we're all right. So you go in the forums, you log in 3 times, and start kind of talking. One thing when I'm looking at the forums, if I'm looking at the forums, if I'm going to grade the forum, and this is how I'm looking at the grade. Don't look at the grades. If I'm looking at grading the forums, and let's make it up. If I look at the final grade, view the rubrics. I don't know if I got a rubric. I have a rubrics in the forum. So if you don't do it, I'm just showing you a rubric. If your first post is not by Tuesday, you lose. If you do it, you get to 3 points. If you do it by Wednesday, you get 2 points. By Thursday, you're down to 1 point. So already your forum points are dropping down by 20. 19, you're already at 18. You don't respond to 3 times, you lose another 3 points. Your writing is just, hey, how you doing? Very short. You don't get no points. The reference to points, you're not telling anything. Remember, part of the forum is to teach you how to talk and communicate within the class, okay, and creating a community, okay? So everything you're doing within my class, you have the forums, you'll find everything else. So remember, this is your orientation to business. It's real good. Read my bio. Go up in here. Go into things. Everything is going to be set up on the weekly. You'll have your my weekly module. Remember, once the week is done, this won't be in yellow. It'll be faded. You may not see it. It means the week is closed. So it's just like you get your work for the week. You finish it. You post. Everything you need is in there. Remember, you click on the week, and it tells you everything. So look at everything. You got the preview, you've got an overview, you can print out, you've got a quick YouTube for the week introducing it, you've got the forums, you go right into, you've got a folder that goes to Connect, where there's 2 Connect, 3 Connect. You may have another folder that's with the quizzes, or maybe combined. You got your concept maps, you got your PowerPoints, everything else in here. You're going to enjoy this class. This is an interesting class. It's a very active class. Anything you take with me with online or take me face-to-face, remember the forums replace the lecture within the classroom. If you take me for a hybrid class, it means you have forums and you have lectures. So you have the combination, what most individuals in business will have to do. You have to improve on your personal skills and communication versus plus you have to improve on your technical skills and communication. So my name is Dr. George Mochocki. This is your online orientation for Business 121, Introduction to Business, or Business 223, Principles of Management, or both face online or as a hybrid class. And I'll see you in the classroom or I'll see you online. And remember, part of the forums I'm going to try to do this time, maybe you could do a short YouTube if you want to introduce yourself and put a link within the forum for those who want. So I'll set up an area there for if you want to see. You don't have to do it. I'm trying to push the envelope in my online class. And remember, what you learn here is what you will take the same skills in the business when you're working in the virtual office, talking to customers, doing Skype, doing Facebook, doing blogs, and everything else. So might as well learn here. And you'll meet a lot of friends here, and you'll learn how to do that virtual network. So again, my name is Dr. George Mochocki. Welcome to the online orientation offered by the College of Lake County in Grayslake, Illinois. Bye.